Is Bitcoin a scam? Is cryptocurrency a Ponzi scheme? I think it's really, really important for us to start using logic and asking yourself, why do you believe what you believe? Think about this for just a moment. Most people say Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, XRP is going to zero, it's a shitcoin, without any logic. Today, we're going to look at the facts, figures, numbers, logic, and I'm going to share with you why I stay so stoic, why I stay so calm, and why I'm so unbelievably confident, and why XRP is my number one holding by a long shot, Bitcoin's number two, and how I use it as a store of value, and how I'm using it to build wealth along the way without ever selling it. And I'm going to share with you how this system actually works. This is nothing new under the sun. But for people to say that Bitcoin's a scam, for people to say that cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme, you got to use logic. Think about this. You get paid in someone else's debt. You put your money into a bank. It's not a deposit, guys. You're giving the bank a loan. Do your research. It's not an actual deposit. You're giving the bank a loan. You're giving them a loan, a credit. They're taking your credit and they're loaning it out to someone else. As you sit there and trust that in your bank account, there's the $1 million sitting there. They're making that $1 million into 1.5 million, 2 million, 3 million. And there's a reason why they told you it's a Ponzi scheme. There's a reason why they told you to look the other way, because they weren't ready for it yet. But now that they're involved, and now that they can profit off of it, now that they figured out that they can't beat it and they have to join it, it is going to be the new monetary system. Bitcoin will be the new gold. XRP will rewire the international financial payment system. And you are going to see a brand new banking system by 2030. Everything I said from 2020 to 2025 came true. And from 2025 to 2030, here's where we're going. First, they resist it. Then they sue it. Then they regulate it. Then they join it. Draper. We're in regulation and joining phase, which is now the first phase, which is adoption. You still have a lot of time to get wealthy in this asset class. But here's the part. You're going to try to get rich quick in the next 6 months. That's not how wealth is built. Wealth is built through discipline, through consistency, through a plan and diversification, protection, and understanding how to properly use leverage. We have to unindoctrinate ourselves. You have the next 6 years to understand this asset class, to invest in the rails. You're either going to own it or you're going to be consumed by it. There'll be no middle ground. So my next videos over the next about 4 days are really going to go a little bit deeper into the logic behind why I do my investments and why no man or woman can FUD me out of these asset classes, and how we've built financial freedom with these asset classes. So if you decide to stay to the back end of the video, I'm very consistent. I share with you exactly what I'm doing. Repetition with passion is the mother of skill. You should fear the man or woman that changes their narrative like a leaf in the wind, that jumps from cryptos to cryptos. It's always hyping you up about the next new thing. And you should maybe take wise counsel from the people that you can go back years and years and years and measure their consistency and their results. That's how winning is done. So the first thing I want to show you to really help you ease your mind around, is Bitcoin a scam? Is XRP going to zero? Is Bitcoin going to zero? The answer is no. The answer is no. Unequivocally, no. Good morning, Crypto posted this. Breaking: PayPal is launching. PayPal with crypto, one of the number one payment platforms, is coming in the covering weeks, covering 90% of the 3+ trillion crypto market cap. PayPal with crypto offers the ability to pay with 100 cryptocurrencies, including BTC, ETH, USDT, XRP, BNB, and Solana. Isn't it interesting that my top 3 cryptos keep showing up in Trump's tweets with PayPal? Guys, we're very stoic. We've followed the same mission since 2020, guys. Very important to stay stoic, to stay calm, to stay with the plan, stay out of the get-rich casinos, guys. Here's the post from PayPal. You're going to see a lot of this, guys. It says, tired, paying high transaction fees for international payments. Wired, reduced reducing costs by 90% by offering pay with crypto. So what's going to happen is traditional banks are going to become crypto banks. It's going to be all about cheaper transactions and convenience and speed of payment. Okay. Traditional banks, mark this down, are going to become crypto banks. Crypto banks are going to become traditional banks. Okay. What I'm going to be breaking down as we move into the rest of this week, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this stuff. On Friday, I'm going to show you what the Trump family is actually invested in, how much wealth they built in cryptocurrency. Then we're going to start to connect the dots a little bit deeper and start to look to see what is Trump actually doing here. Like, what is he actually doing? Is he really breaking us free from the central banks? They created World Liberty Financial. They have their own DeFi platform, guys. I'm operating as my own bank now, which I'll explain to you on the back end of this video. So Bitcoin Magazine, one Bitcoin is now worth more than 1 kilogram of gold. One Bitcoin is 117,000. 1 kilogram of gold is $106,000. Bitcoin ain't going nowhere, nor is XRP, nor is Solana, nor is HBAR. Okay. Just a few of the cryptos. I'll tell you exactly which ones I'm invested in just a moment. Justin, billionaire Ray Dalio, says Bitcoin is perceived as money, as a limited supply. Very easily, all around the world, it can be transacted with. Ray Dalio used to not like crypto. Trump didn't like crypto, supposedly. Larry Fink didn't like crypto. JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon told you it's the worst thing ever. But next year, JP Morgan's going to allow you to borrow against your Bitcoin, get asset-backed loans. That's so weird. You think it's used for money laundering and drug dealing, but you're going to let your clients do loans off of it? That's kind of weird, right? Just use logic, family. Now we're going to listen to this Anthony Popliano. Anthony Popliano. Why does it keep doing that? Your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Trying to share your screen. Restart your browser. Already did that. Let's see if it'll pick it up here. Nope. It's not working. Okay, so I'm not going to have you guys go through that. So basically, what he talks about is how legitimized Bitcoin is becoming. Okay. So just to ease your mind, Bitcoin is not a scam. Cryptocurrency is not a scam. What you're experiencing is an infrastructural change in your financial system. Now, here's what's important. It has to change, family. We're going from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, industrial to technical, an archaic, broken banking system that still uses DOS to a faster payment system. Okay. We're moving from centralized systems to decentralization. It is going to be a bumpy, interesting ride. Here's the difference. You're either going to be on the consumer side of it, you're going to get consumed by it. Even if you keep holding on, sliding down the mountain, saying that cryptocurrency is a fraud, you're going to be using it without even knowing it. Trust me. You're going to be transacting with your Wells Fargo debit card, your Chase, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. You'll be operating on distributed ledger technology. You won't even know the technology, just like you don't know the technology inside of your phone. But we will own the technology inside of it. Okay. Now, the problem that we're facing in America is that we're buried in debt. Okay. All they can do is monetize debt. All they can do is lower interest rates and get you poor. The poorer you become by leveraging against yourself, the more the system and engine runs. Okay. Now, if they monetize debt, if they give us debt to start businesses, like Trump is a businessman, so hopefully, God willing, people will take their newfound wealth and cash and transmute it into something that actually grows domestic product. Okay. But what we do though is that we as Americans, we and this will grow domestic product, but we go buy we go buy bigger cars, we buy bigger houses, we buy bigger watches, right? Unfortunately, that's going to grow a certain part of the economy, but it's not really going to grow your family. Okay. So the rich are going to get richer. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the rich own these things. We need small businesses to grow. We need people to start to create legacy. We need people to expand their family. We need people to invest, right? That's important. So what the Trump family is doing and all these big elites, think about this. You got Trump family, which I'm going to break this down on the back end of this week. So pay attention to my videos. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Is the next couple videos over the next Friday and Monday are going to be pretty powerful. I'm going to show you what the Trump family is actually doing. Okay, they're getting wealthier. So Trump's family is going to make more in the next 24 months off of crypto than they made in their whole legacy with real estate. Howard Lutnick, who is right next to him, the Treasury Secretary, is going to be a billionaire in Bitcoin this year and owns Cantor, which is a Bitcoin company that gives loans to crypto companies. He linked up with SoftBank. They're competing against MicroStrategy, Strategy B. I just showed you guys that Fidelity Basically, I'm going to show you guys, I think it's tomorrow's video. So I pre-recorded my videos for the next week. I'll be traveling. So Fidelity, the number one 401k holder, is number 12 company in Bitcoin. Think about this, guys. So you have to get out of your mindset that Bitcoin's a scam. You have to get out of your mindset. It's upon the US dollar system and the fiat system is absolutely a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme represents if there's no new money coming in from the next person, that it can't continue. So if you stop depositing and you stop lending to your future self, taking away from your family and buying, 78-month auto loans and 30-year mortgages and, a credit card to go on vacation or a cruise, then the Ponzi scheme stops. So if there's no new money coming in to keep the credit going, the whole system collapses. So your debt, your imprisonment is their wealth. So just have to get on the other side. So there's debt also. There's a lie. There's using leverage, which we use leverage to get wealthier. So let me break down my exact ecosystem. Okay. So let's take Bitcoin, write down Bitcoin for me. And again, I'm going to tell you exactly what I do for Bitcoin, not touching it. So I accumulate Bitcoin and XRP every single day. Okay. I dollar cost average every single day. What about the price? I don't care. I buy it every single day. I buy a little bit every single day. I'll keep saying it. Okay. So Bitcoin is moved off to the side. Let's pretend Bitcoin is gold and I'm never touching it. Okay. It's secure. I'm never touching it. But this is a bank to me. Okay. It's a bank that's steadily going to grow with a fixed supply. It is one of the most scarce assets in the world, and this will pass down from my family to generation to generation. Okay. So then we got altcoins, all other cryptos outside of Bitcoin. So that's what altcoins mean. Okay. To include my top six, which are XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, XLM. I always have to close my eyes to remember. HBAR and VChain. Those are my top six. And I have many others, but I'm going to be consolidating probably into the top three, which will be for me will be XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. Okay. So we got our altcoins. Yes, I'm going to exit 50% of my altcoins in the bull run that we're going into the back end of this year. Like everybody's like, hold, hold, hold. Like we're here to profit, profit, profit. It's wild to hear people say, hold, hold, hold. It's like, why would you just be allocated in one asset class? I've been there, done that. It's called a vertical strategy. Diversify. So I focus on cash flow. Number one, cash is trash. Number two is deflationary assets that have fixed supplies. Hence XRP and Bitcoin. They're opposite of the US dollar. Okay. They're deflationary versus inflationary. I have cash value life insurance, okay, which is protection and a leverage component, which is number four. Okay. Remember how we broke that down? Bitcoin staying over here. Let's put Bitcoin and insurance in the same category now. Insurance represents protection and leverage. So now, as everybody else goes up and down in the markets and holds on for dear life and waits for XRP to save their life and Bitcoin to save their life, we're building empires. Okay. So I built this infrastructure very slowly from 2030 to 2025 as we came into 2025. Now I'm filling the bucket. So first step is when it goes parabolic, boom, I max fund the policies. Okay. So I have exit targets hit in the altcoins from, whatever from August to 2026. As it goes up, I'm non-emotional. I pull on the way up and I'll show you. I use Merlin. Let me show you this real quick. We teach you how to do this stuff. Okay. So if you just go here to Merlin, this is our demo account. Okay. This is Merlin Smartest Way to Track Your Crypto. See, I have on this demo account, all my crypto is all in one spot. This shows all your exchanges. We don't hold your crypto. This is actually an interface. Okay, you have all your exchanges on here. You have all your assets and boom, look at this. You can set up an exit plan. We teach you how to do an exit plan. It shows you your exit targets. So when you're about to get close to your exit target, so this demo account says $3.70 is the next one. It tells me, boom, I got to exit 9,999 tokens. Calmly go over there and sell those tokens. That would give me $36,000. I would do the tax implications. I'd be in long-term capital gains on this, correct? About 20%. I got my effective tax rate down to 14. My last tax run. So I'd do the effective tax rate. I'd just say 20%. I'd take 20%. Boom. I'd put that away. I'd figure out a way to mitigate that. Then I'd take the rest and I'd pump into my insurance policy. Now it's like, okay, cool. Well, why are you doing that? Number one, my wealth is protected. As you go up and down in the markets, my wealth is insured. Okay. So guaranteed principal, legacy, nobody can touch it. That's the powerful part about insurance. And richest man in Babylon, I now have two leverage components. As you're holding on and going up and down in the markets, riding these things up and down, I have two leverage components. I can leverage my Bitcoin at low leverage, like I did to buy my insurance brokerage. And I'm actually the first position. I'm the bank. So I went to the lending platform Salt. I locked up some of my Bitcoin. I took very low leverage. I bought my insurance firm, my brokerage. Okay. The brokerage is already generating cash. I will only leverage to buy something that will pay it back if it has cash. I'm not going to buy things that are going to depreciate. I'm going to buy things that create cash flow. So I bought the firm. It's paying it back at 14%. I beat the hurdle rate. Bitcoin grows average 50%. I'm making 36% of my money. I'm the bank. Okay. Yes, they gave me their money at 14%. So it's tax free. Loans are tax free. Okay. I'm paying them back and they're giving me my liquidity back. And as soon as that's paid off, we got 6 more payments. Then guess what I'm going to do? Go back to low leverage and I'm going to buy more cash generating dividends. Okay. So I'm constantly moving money. I'm constantly building wealth. I'm constantly creating cash flow. That's how you become financially free. You don't just ride markets up, ride them down. You don't hope that XRP is going to go to 589. You don't hope that things are going to have hope is not a strategy. You build empires. Read Richest Man in Babylon. Read the wisdom of King Solomon. They weren't just in one asset class, riding the wave up, riding the wave down. Warren Buffett isn't just sitting in one investment and hoping and banking on it. Warren Buffett is making tons of money off dividends. Okay. So when I get paid from my companies, which I used my profits to create cash flow in the last bull run. Okay. When I get paid by the companies, number one, I'm like, okay, how can I create more cash flow? I use cash generating dividends. Okay. So I use cash generating dividends. So now I have money coming in from company dividends. I have money coming in from cash generating dividends, which are completely passive, like a Warren Buffett style. When that cash comes in, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put money into my premiums monthly and I'm going to put money into the markets if they're down. Okay. I'm taking my cash, I'm transmuting it to deflation. It's going to continue to grow. And from there, I'm looking at the landscape. I got money left over. I'm going to set it on the sidelines and see what's going on. How can we transmute this? It's always moving. It's always growing. It's either creating cash, a brother or sister, or it's being protected, or it's being leveraged to create more cash. That's the richest man in Babylon. So I know a lot of people sit there and, scarcity mindset isn't going to work. Get rich quick mindset isn't going to work, right? Just holding on to something and hoping. You hear it all the time. Why hope? Is 10,000 XRP enough? Is that going to make me wealthy? As you wait for that moment, you missed every minute, every day, every opportunity to create cash flow, to multiply that money. There's so many opportunities. You just have to open up your mind and awareness and stop operating in scarcity, right? Stop operating in scarcity. You're already abundant. We're all waiting for a savior. People were waiting for Trump to come back. We built wealth under Biden. It was a lot harder, and I'm very grateful for this new presidency and new economy. Very grateful. Now we have this opportunity, and if you don't get wealthy during this economy, that's shame on you. I'm gonna say that, and I'll tell you why. Because you can do it, and I'm telling you, I did it. I lost everything in 2020, so I'm trying to speak to your heart and get under your skin a little bit. I did it. They took away my business in 2020. That's what pissed me off. So then the reason why I said this, because somebody said a comment, well, it's easy to do it, if you have money. I'm like, I didn't have money when I did this. I put money into crypto. I started with $3,000. My first entry point was in early 2020. I learned about it in 2019. XRP, I got in early 2020. I saw how amazing this was. And then by the time they shut down in the pandemic, they shut down our business, our cash flow, right? That was my only source of income, was this one business, right? Vertical strategy. I had about 30,000 in crypto. Okay. And that was in the pandemic. And I was like, oh shit. They took away my ability to feed my family. And I was like, as a man, I was like, that will never, ever happen to me again. So I realized that I can't rely on one source of income. And I realized that this opportunity will never come again in cryptocurrency, where I can get in early enough where I'm gonna get this huge price appreciation. The price appreciation was completely unnatural. So we all went through the bull run. So the 30 grand became whatever it became. I pulled profits on the way up. I made a lot of mistakes as well. I had some big losses, and those are so grateful I took those losses back then. But I didn't do what a lot of the other people I saw did. I didn't buy Lambos. I didn't buy watches. I didn't buy penthouses in Miami. We built ecosystems and we stayed disciplined. We stayed consistent, and we didn't really change our lifestyle. I got a single family home for my family. I got back on my feet after the pandemic shut us down. got a small little decent home for my family. My lifestyle has stayed almost exactly the same. My bills, my debts and non-negotiables, I actually reduced my debts and non-negotiables. But what changed was my cash flow. As I built ecosystems and I built flywheels, as everybody ran from crypto, I stacked and I stacked and I got more disciplined and more disciplined. And that's the moment you have for the next 6 years. Every day I bought crypto. Instead of buying new clothes and new shoes, instead of, going out to eat all the time, I literally bought assets because it was liquid to me. I'm like, I can use this if I need it, if something happens, but out of sight, out of mind. I kept putting money into my premiums. We kept scaling our businesses. We got better. We got different resources. We hired mentors. We went through the process of financial literacy and education. We studied and studied and studied. We discovered cash generated dividends, right? And we followed the system and we studied the books and we watched what the elites were doing. We put blinders on. We didn't listen to the naysayers. When I got into Bitcoin, I got a bunch of flack from the XRP community. It was like, why these are asset classes. We're not married to these. Okay. I'm not attached to these asset classes. I love XRP and I love Bitcoin now. And people are like, oh, you can't get wealthy off Bitcoin. We are. We are. We literally leveraged and bought an insurance brokerage. And I'm in 6 months, I'll own it for free. I actually made money. You got to know how to use these things. They're tools, they're resources. That's all they are. That's all this stuff is. Your cash is a resource. XRP is a resource. Bitcoin is a resource. It's not a cult. You know what I'm saying? It's a resource that God has provided that's showing up in your paradigm, and you have the ability to use it properly. So that's why I focus on God, family, protecting my ecosystem at all costs. And I stay out of other men and women's business. I'm too busy working on mine. I don't have time to respond to hate comments. I don't have time to listen to low vibration conversations because I'm focused. And that's where I want you to be. And I want you to understand that if you lock and load for the next 6 years, get uncomfortable for them. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to cut back on your expenses. You're going to have to live maybe a little bit of a lower lifestyle in regards to what you may be used to right now. And some of you may have to really, really consolidate and cut back. I moved back with my parents for over a year in 2020 because I knew that's what I had to do. I could have cashed out of my crypto and got a I said, no, absolutely not. I said, give me 1 year. I told my parents, give me 1 year at 43 years old. And what I did with that year is I studied everything I could around wealth. I studied how the 1% operated and I realized, oh shit, it's been the same thing. The same thing. It's me. It's my wiring. It's my subconscious mind programming. That's why I kept going broke. It was the way I was raised. It's the way I was taught about money. And I see a lot of people doing this, like, oh, I'm going to hold on to I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to hold on to this. It's like, if you hold on to money, that's what banks do. You hold on to your money in the bank. Guess what they're doing? They're making it currency. They're making a shitload of money. They're putting in the capital markets. They're insuring it. They're lending it to the next person walking in. Then why do they make it current? Why do they move it? Why do they move your money around the system? Money is energy. It's frequency. It's vibration. And the number one vibration is you. So I'll get off my soapbox. I love you guys. I have a lot of really cool videos coming out to really tie this home over the next couple of days to help you take a deep breath and understand you're already wealthy. You're already healthy. Get locked in. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Love you guys. God bless you.